Joining us this morning, Tennessee Republican Senate candidate Joe Carr, hoping to have similar success to Dave Brat as Mr. Carr takes on Tennessee's senior Republican Senator Lamar Alexander. It is great to have you here today, Joe, and we really appreciate your time as you join us from Washington.
Thank you, JD, and thank you, Morgan, for having me. We're excited to be here.
Well, tell us what's going on right now with your situation, especially in the wake of what happened with Eric Cantor. Did you have a bump across the state line? Is this invigorating your Senate campaign against Lamar Alexander?
Oh, we had more than a bump, but I will tell you, JD and Morgan, this wasn't completely unanticipated. We've been running a very, very strong grassroots organization, grassroots race in Tennessee for the last 10 months. And we knew 10 months ago that if we were disciplined and persistent and continue to build throw logs or combustible material on the fire that was going to provide the fuel for that moment when this flame would get ignited, that we would be rewarded with our discipline and persistence and with all the Tea Party groups that have rallied around this campaign in Tennessee. And what you found with the runoff election in Mississippi with Chris McDaniel and Thad Cochran, and then just a few days ago, earlier this week, with Dave Brat and Eric Cantor, that combustible material in Tennessee has been ignited, and we have a roaring blaze that is going to consume Lamar Alexander and put a constitutional conservative in the United States Senate from Tennessee. So we're very excited.
Well, I love your spirit, Mr. Carr. It seems like you're definitely all fired up. Tell me, are your constituents the same way? Are you receiving like a landslide of support all of a sudden?
Yes, and let me just give you some really quick metrics. We've raised almost, if not more than $1 million to date, so we're doing quite well in our fundraising. But just since yesterday, I think it was yesterday, because I've been in D.C. now for a couple of days, but in the last day, the day after the Dave Brat win, we had over 100 new volunteers sign up through our Facebook and through our website, and we literally have raised tens of thousands of dollars online in the last 24, 48 hours. So everybody's very, very excited. They understand that there's a great opportunity for Tennessee to have a constitutional conservative who believes in the rule of law, who believes in free and fair markets, and believes in the idea that our founding fathers so eloquently wrote about in the Declaration of Independence about personal responsibility and individual liberty. So we're excited, and we are marching on.
Joe, the candidate in me is encouraged to hear that your fundraising has passed the $1 million mark. Of course, having had experience not totally dissimilar to yours, though I know you're hoping it's dissimilar in one big way. I was able to raise $3 million plus in 2010. The only problem was my incumbent opponent had access to about $30 million. How much is Lamar going to spend to trying to hang on to the seat in Tennessee?
Well, I don't have any idea, but let me give you some metrics that are quite sobering and sobering for Senator Alexander and very encouraging for us. In 2006, Senator Corker spent over $12 million against two conservatives running for that Senate seat. The two conservatives, Van Hillary and Ed Bryant, both congressmen at the time, spent right around $5 million. And Senator Corker was only able to achieve 46% of the vote. In 2010, now Governor Haslam spent over $18 million, and his two opponents combined spent right around $6 million. Governor Haslam got less than 50% of the vote. The challenge that Tennessee has always had is we always have very strong, very capable conservatives running for statewide office, whether it be governor or Senate. But the fact of the matter is you have multiple candidates doing so it splits up the conservative vote. This race in 2014 for the United States Senate is the very first time in memory that we've had a single solid conservative and the moderate, the liberal, Lamar Alexander, in a head-to-head matchup, so the financial issues aren't as critical as they have been in the past. We will certainly have enough money to get our message out, and it's already being well received. And the grassroots, of course, organization is extremely excited with the endorsement of over 60 different Tea Party groups in the state of Tennessee. So we're excited.
Joe, let's move back to policy that may influence the political outcome there in Tennessee. Lamar Alexander voting along with the Gang of Eight for that amnesty bill. In Virginia, we heard it was Eric Cantor's embrace of amnesty that did him in. What are you hearing from the people across the state of Tennessee about Senator Alexander's vote in favor of amnesty?
Great question, JD. It has consistently and persistently for the last several years been one of the top 3 issues in Tennessee. When I was first elected to the Tennessee General Assembly in 2008, I gave my district and Tennesseans the promise that I was going to do everything I could to ensure that Tennessee could protect itself from illegal immigrants and the ill effects that they bring when they come to our state unlawfully. And as a result of the efforts of myself and my colleagues, I was able to sponsor, craft, and architect a mandatory E-Verify bill that passed into law in Tennessee, a mandatory SAVE bill that kept illegals from getting state taxpayer-funded benefits in Tennessee, a no sanctuary cities law in Tennessee, and an identity theft and fraud law in Tennessee for the purpose of employment. And you'll like this, JD, we were the only state that recognized Governor Jan Brewer of Arizona's right to defend her border against illegal immigrants in 2009 when Eric Holder and Barack Obama sued Arizona for trying to take care of its citizens. So Tennessee has a very strong and capable record dealing with this issue, and it provides a very good contrast between myself and Senator Alexander because, as you know, and as you so rightfully said, he supports amnesty and denies the understanding of the rule of law.
Well, Joe Carr, you certainly have covered all the bases. We will see what transpires in Tennessee's Republican primary. We thank you for your time. We'll keep our eye on this race, and you're always invited back. Indeed, you're always invited back here to America's Forum. Yeah, I will tell you, Morgan, it is an interesting experience to challenge an entrenched incumbent. And we saw Dave Bratt do so well in Virginia. We'll see what happens with Mr. Carr.
Considerably less funding as well.
That's
Dave
true.
Bratt had.
Grassroots versus greenbacks, the classic tale. You're the grassroots with your comments that we always encourage via Twitter at NewsmaxTV, # America's Forum. There's also email and Facebook. And when you see our faces again, we'll have some of your comments next on America's Forum.